Good morning, my dear loving children, and welcome back to Vidyanagar Public School online class. And I hope you remember the chapter that we were dealing in the last class. We were taking the chapter The Mask, which is written by Satyajit Ray. And you remember who all were the characters in that story? Yes, Feluda, a private detective, then his cousin Topshe, and Rajan Babu, a retired old man, right? Yes. Then who else? His tenant, who is a Tinkori Babu, right? And we have seen one more character, Mr. Kaushal, right? Yes. And where did we stop in the last class? Yes, our Feluda, Topshe, and Tingori Babu, three of them talking together in a coffee shop, right? And while talking, Tingori Babu is actually trying to convince or trying to persuade the attention of Feluda and Topshe to Mr. Kaushal, right? By saying that Mr. Kaushal wanted to purchase things from our Rajan Babu for a cheap rate and he wants to resell it to the foreigners with a higher price. Not only that, he is talking something else, right? Let's see what is happening next in the story, right? Then Mr. Kaushal might have a motive in sending the letter to Rajan Babu, said Feluda. So Feluda is actually started to suspect our Mr. Kaushal. I learned during my visit to the curio shop today that the shop is going to get some fresh supplies this evening. I see, exclaimed Tingori Babu. So, Topshe is saying that to the curio shop there is a chance that some fresh supplies may come this evening. So, Tingori Babu is saying, so a letter like that would naturally frighten Rajan Babu into staying at home for a few days and Mr. Kaushal would get to buy all the new pieces. So, Tingori Babu is saying that there we can suspect Mr. Kaushal that he would have written this letter because if this letter is saying something up like it's actually a warning letter, right? So our Rajan Babu will keep himself inside his home and he will be afraid to come out. So in that interval or in that situation, Mr. Kaushal can purchase all the new supplies himself, right? So he might be the person who would have sent us letter. Exactly. Tingori Babu also told us about Rajan Babu's son Prabir. After talking about Kaushal, Tingori Babu is talking now about Rajan Babu's son Prabir. Apparently, Rajan Babu had asked Prabir to leave the house 16 years ago when he had caught Prabir stealing money from his cupboard. Prabir had not been seen since. Hence, Tingori Babu was shocked to hear that we had seen Prabir at the mall that morning. So, Tingori Babu is saying that Rajan Babu expelled his son Prabir because he stole something 16 years ago. So, and since then he is not seen anywhere here. But Feluda and Topshe is saying that they have seen Prabir these days at the mall. So Prabir also has a motive to threaten his father, said Feluda. So actually Feluda, what he is doing, he is actually one by one, he is listing out the suspects whom we can suspect, right? Yes. He is getting certain clues. Rajan Babu does not know that his son is in town, said Tingori Babu, and I don't think he should be told. After further investigation, Feluda told me, I visited Dr. Mitra today. He could have also sent the letter. He seems to be in need of money as he does not have a good practice. A letter like this could make Rajan Babu fall ill, which would require him to go to the Dr. Mitra. So, Feluda is actually saying that he has visited Dr. Mitra also and he is suspecting Dr. Mitra because Mitra is also in need of money. So he is suspecting Dr. Mitra. Why? When Rajan Babu will get ill or get sick, he will definitely comes to or he definitely consult Dr. Mitra for getting relief, right? So he is suspecting Dr. Mitra also. Then what's happening? The case had already reached the stage where it had 3 suspects but no culprit yet. So our Feluda got 3 suspects but not culprit. Culprit is the person who is behind this misdeed, right? So suspects are, we get certain persons, the people thought to be behind the crime, but we are not sure, we don't have evidence for that. A few days later, one morning, we received a message that Rajan Babu wanted to see us urgently. We rushed to his house. He was lying on the bed, looking pale and haggard. Dr. Mitra was examining him. Tingori Babu stood nearby, looking worried. Rajan Babu spoke with some difficulty. Last night, after midnight, I woke up suddenly and there was this face, a masked face. It bent over me. It was horrible. I can't tell you how I spent the night. What's happening here? Yes, Feluda and Topshe is being called by Rajan Babu to his house and he wanted to tell them what has happened the last night. So Rajan Babu is telling that somebody frightened him wearing that particular mask. Take it easy, said the doctor. You need complete rest. Dr. Mitra said, Feluda suddenly, did you go out last night? Your jacket's got a streak of mud on it. So, suspecting voice, Feluda is asking to Dr. Mitra, did you go anywhere last night? Your jacket has a stain. Yes, I did go out to see a patient, though it was raining so heavily, replied Dr. Mitra. After Dr. Mitra had left, Feluda asked, what did the mask look like? So, Feluda is asking to Rajan Babu how this mask would look like. It was like one of those you see on the wall there. There are certain masks on his wall, right? Yes, in the living room. Rajan Babu pointed to a dreadful looking mask on the wall. Tingori Babu came in after seeing off the doctor and said, I'm sorry, but I have to return to Calcutta today. I tried to change my ticket, but there are no seats for the next 10 days. But before I leave, I'll inform the police Rajan Babu needs protection. Realizing that Rajan Babu would be all alone that night, Feluda and I decided to stay the night at his house. So Tingori Babu is about to leave the place. He has already booked ticket as he could not extend his journey to Calcutta because of the seat, because he has no seats available in the train. So realizing he is alone, Rajan Babu is alone, Feluda and Topshe stays with him. Later that night, as we were relaxing after dinner, Feluda said, I did some investigation in the afternoon. Both Prabir and Mr. Ghoshal were at a party from 9 p.m. to 3 p.m. And Dr. Mitra was truly visiting a critical patient till late last night. That man wearing the mask came soon after midnight, didn't he? Yes. Well then, who does that leave us with? So, they are suspecting, well, who does that leave us with? നമ്മുടെ ഇടയിൽ തന്നെയുണ്ട് ആ വിക്ടിം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ കൾപ്രിറ്റ് നമ്മുടെ ഇടയിൽ തന്നെ ഉണ്ടെന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. Feluda did not answer. He abruptly went off. I lay on the bed and began to feel sleepy. I suddenly sensed the presence of someone else in the room. My blood froze. I could feel the man leaning over me. Oh, how horrible it was. A mask. He was wearing a mask. I opened my mouth and was about to scream when the person pulled the mask away. My scream became a nervous gasp. Feluda, it's you. So Feluda came by wearing the mask and Topshe got frightened and he's asking, who are you? Then he is showing his face. It was Feluda. Of course, it's me. I was trying on the mask in the living room. Why don't you wear this one for a second? I wore the mask. Can you sense something unusual? No, it's a size too large for me, that's all. Think carefully. Isn't there anything that might strike you as odd? Well, there is faint smell, I think. Of what? Cheroot. Exactly. My heart started to beat faster. Tinkuri Babu, I stammer. Feluda sighed. Yes, I am afraid so. But he seemed to respect Rajam Babu a lot, so I don't understand why he did something like this. Rajam Babu was shocked when we told him about this the next morning. As we were talking, Rajam Babu received a letter. He opened it with trembling hands and read it aloud. So what's happening here? Yes, Feluda understood that inside that mask there is a foul smell of cheroot. Who is having the habit of using the cheroot? We all know. Tingori Babu is having that habit. So they are getting the clue that the person behind all these misdeeds are whom? Tingori Babu, right? Yes. So they started to read the letter. Dear Raju, we used to study in the same school in Bangura 50 years ago. You had tripped me in the 100-meter race on our sports day. Not only did I miss the medal in that race, but I was also seriously injured. Unfortunately, my father got transferred to a different town zone after, and I never got a chance to settle the score with you. So you never realized how deeply you had hurt me, both physically and mentally. So it was actually a letter from Tingori Babu. What is this letter is about? He is saying that they have already studied together 50 years ago, and Rajan Babu has tripped, means he has won the 500-meter race, and Tingori Babu lost the match for our Raju. Raju has won the match that time. So he couldn't settle the score. He couldn't settle that at that time because he got suddenly transferred. His father got transferred, so he had to move to another school. I didn't realize that you were the same boy till I came to stay in your house and I saw your childhood photograph. The desire for revenge resurfaced. I thought of doing something that would cause you anxiety and ruin your peace of mind for a short time. This was my way of punishing you for your past misdeed. With good wishes, yours sincerely, Tingori. So Tingori is actually taking his revenge by making our Rajam Babu frightened, right? Yes, frightened through a letter and by frightening using the mask, right? This is how he is taking his revenge. How he came to know about the person in whom he saw that Rajan Babu is his classmate. Yes, Tingori Babu saw his childhood photograph. Then he understood, right? This is how the story is ending. So what's your homework? You have to complete the comprehension part, and I will also be sending the answers. But try to read the chapter twice. Not only that, you have to complete all the question answers in your notebook. Today I'll check with you, and all of you should write and send it to me through VNPS app, and we will meet in the live session.